I think most people are worried about the wrong thing when it comes to AI. Every day, I hear the same questions. Nick, will AI replace my job? Will it replace humans? Or will it take over my entire industry? Honestly, I don't think that's the biggest thing happening right now. I think something much more important is already happening, and most people haven't noticed yet. A gap is starting to form, a gap between the people who are learning how to use AI and the people who aren't. And the scary part, this gap gets a little bigger every single day. Before you think this is another video about AI replacing everyone, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about something that's already happening. And if you're a business owner, an employee, student, or a creator, or pretty much just anyone working with information, you've probably already seen it, but you just haven't realized it yet. The reason I find this so interesting is because we've seen this movie before. Think back to the internet. Imagine it's the late 90s. Two businesses exist. One thinks the internet is a fad. The other decides to take it seriously. At first, nothing changes. Customers still walk through the door, the phone will still ring, the bills will have to be paid. Everything feels normal. But then a few years pass. One business starts reaching more customers. The other one starts feeling there's something missing, while the other one starts operating more efficiently. This one will move faster, and eventually the difference will become impossible to ignore. Not because one company was smarter, not because the other company worked harder. The internet didn't magically make people better. It amplified what they were already capable of. And I think AI is doing exactly the same thing. The difference is that this change is happening much faster. The internet took years. AI is moving in months. Now, let's think about something. Why are companies spending billions of dollars on AI? Seriously, think about why Microsoft, Amazon, Google, IBM, Meta, OpenAI, and we're not even talking about KPMG, which recently took over Anthropic as another tool, making it real that AI will be implemented on the daily use of big companies. These are investing amounts of money that most people can't even comprehend. But why? Do they all suddenly love chatbots? Probably not. I think the answer is much simpler. Productivity. Imagine you run a company with 1,000 employees. If every employee becomes just 10% more productive, the impact will be enormous. Imagine certain tasks become 20% fast, 30%, even 50%. The numbers start becoming impossible to ignore. Why AI is appearing everywhere. Marketing, sales, customer service, finance, operations, software development, human resources, even sales, you name it, because companies aren't really buying AI. Now, let's make this more real. Imagine two marketers, same experience, talent, salary, company, but the first one works the way they've always done. They don't move anything, they stay the same. They do their research manually, brainstorm manually, create content manually, analyze everything as it was before. But the second one uses AI, not to replace their thinking, to accelerate it. They use AI to organize information, generate ideas, create drafts, summarize research, analyze data. Now here's the important part. The second marketer isn't necessarily smarter. They are not even more talented than the other, but they can move faster. And in business, this is key. And when you move faster every day for a year, the difference becomes enormous. Small advantage today becomes a larger advantage tomorrow, and an even larger advantage next year. That's how gaps are created, through compounding. I'll give you an example from hospitality. Imagine a hotel manager receiving hundreds of guest reviews every month. To understand what's happening, they sit down and read every single review to adjust what is wrong and improve it. One by one. It will take hours, even days. But now imagine another manager. They take those same reviews and ask AI, what are the top 5 complaints? What are the top 5 things guests love? What are the trends appearing? What should we prioritize next month? Within minutes, they have the answer. Now, both managers still make the decisions. AI didn't replace anyone. The manager still needs experience, judgment, leadership, and common sense. One manager got access to information dramatically faster, and that means they can spend more time improving the business instead of collecting information. This is where I think many people misunderstand AI. The biggest value isn't replacement, it's acceleration. The more I think about it, the more I think we're creating something new, a productivity gap. Not between humans and machines, between people who are learning how to use these tools and people who ignore them. And here's the thing about productivity gaps. They compound as well. A small advantage doesn't stay small. If someone saves 30 minutes a day, it becomes hours every week, days every month, weeks every year. Now, multiply that across entire teams, companies, industries. That's why I think this matters the most. Not because AI is a magical tool or that robots are taking over us, because small productivity improvements compound into massive advantages over time. But here's where things get really interesting. Most people assume that winners will be the people using the most AI. I don't think that's the truth. I think the winners will be people using AI more efficiently. AI isn't free. Every prompt has a cost. Every image, videos, workflows, AI agents, everything has a cost. Behind every response, there are data centers, GPUs, electricity, infrastructures. As we've talked about this before on the channel, AI runs on real-world resources, which means eventually efficiency matters. The future won't belong to the companies throwing AI at every problem. It will belong to the companies that know exactly where AI creates value. Probably you're asking yourself, what should I do now? First, use AI every day. You don't need to spend hours. 10 minutes is enough. Learn how to ask better questions. A surprising number of people think about use of AI as unuseful because often they are giving terrible instructions. This due to prompts. Third, look for repetitive work. The things you do over and over again are usually the easiest opportunities. Fourth, don't focus on replacing people. Focus on eliminating low-value work. That's where the biggest gains usually come from. Right now, we're in the adoption phase. Everyone is asking, how do I use AI? How do I implement it? How can I build better agents? But eventually, everyone will have access to AI. Everyone will know what to do. Just like everyone knew how to access an email, the bar search of Google, and pretty much use the internet. At that point, access won't matter anymore. The difference will be how well will you use it. And I think that's where the next competitive advantage comes from. So will some jobs change? Absolutely. Will some roles disappear? Probably. Will new opportunities appear? Without a doubt. That's happened through history. But I don't think that's the most important question. I think the most important question is the following. Are you learning how to work alongside AI? Because the people learning these tools are already gaining an incredible advantage over you right now. And that advantage will compound every single day. 20 years ago, people who learn how to use the internet gain an advantage. Today, people who learn how to use AI are gaining the advantage. The difference is that this change is happening much faster. And that's why I believe the AI gap is growing faster than most people realize. The good news, you're still early, and you can start today. Let me help you on your journey. As an entrepreneur with many years of experience, I want to help you implement AI on your business, and this is your channel. We'll talk about many surprises and updates we have, as well as models that we created ourselves in AI Token Hub. See you.